My vanakkam, namaskar, and heartfelt thanks to management and all the faculties of Sangam Talks and Colonel Rama sir and other dignitaries and the professors and scholars who are attending this session. Namaskar to one and all. Today is the birthday of Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose. Famous quote from Netaji is, "Freedom is not given, it is to be taken. It is taken." So this quotation shows his commitment, his principle and mode of action of Netaji in words. But this map shows all the three: his commitment, principle and mode of action through his actions and deeds. How he from Calcutta he traveled to Berlin, from there Japan, and he organized everything to get India freedom. It is not just I am telling that Netaji got freedom of India. I am telling with evidence. Dr. R.C. Majumdar is the authority on recent history of India. He is a Vice Chancellor, Dhaka University, ex-Vice Chancellor, and also Professor of History in Calcutta University and other various universities. He wrote a book published by Firma KLM Publications, Calcutta, The History of Freedom Movement in India, 3 volumes. In the 3rd volume, in the pages 609-610, he narrated an incident that happened in the Raj Bhavan Governor's Office Bangla at Calcutta in the year 1956. Clement Attlee, the then British Prime Minister, when we got freedom, he came to India in the year 1956 and stayed in the governor's residence at Kolkata. At that time, Pani Bhushan Chakravarti was the Chief Justice of Calcutta High Court. Because there was no governor, he was acting as a governor of that state. And he gave a dinner. During that dinner, he asked Clement Attlee one question. There was nothing in Indian situation which made it British to leave India in a hurry. Then why did you do so? That is his question. India is very calm. You would have stayed here. Why you left India in a hurry? For that, Clement Attlee clearly answered, it is because of Indian National Army of Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose, followed by which stimulated and followed by the revolt in Indian Naval Force and also Indian Army Force. So the British realized their time in India is over. So they left India in a hurry. So we got freedom and we took away freedom from British. British didn't give us freedom. Yes, Netaji said, freedom, it is not given. It is to be taken. That is the word you should realize. So that's why we called Subhash Chandra Bose as Netaji. He really a Netaji. And I request you, one and all, to salute him on this 126th or 125th completion, birthday of our beloved Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose. With this introduction, I move on to my session. I have already completed this Kali Yuga inscriptional evidence, the description of 607 inscriptions that were dated in Kali Yuga year. Part 1 is over. This is part 2. I was already introduced. These are my numbers and my mail ID website. Anybody want, they can contact me. And I have completed what do you mean by Kali Yuga and its beginning, epoch, how it is important to us, and the literary and epigraphic evidence of the Kali Yuga beginning, and through inscription how the whole our nation, beloved nation India and its dynasties are interconnected. That I have explained in the first part. Before going to second part, after the completion of the first part, there was a question by a senior most scholar. He told that this Yuga calculations and this number of years are derived from Greek. from the first century Common Era. But if you verify the sources of Greek, for example, I am having this Ptolemy's Almagest, written by Ptolemy, published in USA. In that book, in the page 131 and 132, what Hipparchus told, because on his observations, there is this equinox is receding back slightly. For that, what explanation he gives? Because the stars are probably moving little bit faster, or sun is moving little bit slower, or my observations may be wrong. So he didn't tell anything about precision. It has not occurred in his mind at all. What Ptolemy thought about this, it is in the pages 328, 29, and 30. He calculated through various calculations, and he found out, he is saying that this it is going behind rare 1 degree, at least about 1 degree in 100 years. So he is not sure. So he has not given any word called precision of equinox or any equivalent word in Greek. So this precision of equinox itself, the Greek didn't know in the first century AD itself. When they themselves don't know about thing, then how can they give us? That is my question. And other thing is, this Yuga name were given in Taittiriya Brahmanam, Atharva Veda, and Upanishad, and this stars, this all Yuga name are there in our Veda. We cannot say that Veda are after first century Common Era. Definitely not. So in Taittiriya Brahmanam is there, in Atharva Veda, in Upanishad is there, all this Yuga name and their significance, and even Veda describe the number of 27 stars, ecliptic stars, and also the 12 zodiac rasis. For example, Rig Veda in the first mandala, in the 164th Sukta, in the 48th mantra, what it mentions? Dvadasa Pradaya Chakram. Ekam. Chakram Ekam. Dvadasa Pradaya. So one circle, it has 12 divisions in that circumference. You imagine, it is 12 parts of the zodiac sign. Dvadasa Pradaya Chakram Ekam. Trini Nabhyani Ka Udachikede. Tasmin Saham. Trisada na Sankavo Arpidaha Hashtirna Chala Salasaha. What it means? One circle, it has at the circumference 12 divisions and 3 double seasons, 3 in Nabhyanika, and 3 Sada, that is 300, Shashti, 360 spokes of wheels from the center to the periphery. That is radiations. That is arcs of a circle. From that only we derive the 360 degree for a circle. It is not only that, it is the 360 Savana Din for a year. So 12 zodiac signs, 12 months. 360 degrees, 360 Savana Din for a year. Ekam Chakram for a single year. So exact synchronization of time calculations and the angular calculations of circle. How much our ancestors were genius. And another thing, in the last thing about Mahabharata war, he told all our belief only. But how can he say that? See, in the last episode, I have mentioned one sloka from Veda Vyasa's Mahabharata text in Salya Parva in the 11th Adhyaya. Some books tell it is 17th or 27th sloka. What it mentions, Brihu Shune, Dhara Putra, and another thing, Sasi Jine. What it means? Brihu Sudha, Brihu's son, that is Venus, Sukra. Dhara Putra. Dhara is earth, mother earth, Dhara, female. Putra, that is Mars. Then Sasi Jine, from moon gave birth to Mercury. This is given by Veda Vyasa, some 5,000 years before he wrote. But what modern science says, the exact geology and geological structure, terrestrial thing, atmosphere, oxygen availability, and the ice and water availability is exactly similar between Earth and Mars, not between any other planet. Earth and Mars are similar. And even in Ujjaini, there is a temple for Mangala, Mangaleshwara. There is a Aja statue is there, Mangaleshwara statue is there, Ishwara statue is there. The people are telling from that place there is a mount. From that only Mars separated. You can go and verify. So our ancestors, today science proves that Mars and Mercury, Earth are same. Only Mars separated from Earth. And in the same way, what they will tell, the structure, terrestrial structure and geological structure of Mercury and Moon are one and the same. You go and verify in internet how much we are scientific. The modern day science today telling we are told in 5,000 years before itself. How can say that it is belief? It is science. If you say belief, at this age I can accept, I won't quarrel with you. But my youngsters from my India, my nation, will not leave it. Just they won't care and leave it. They will say whatever you think, Greek, Europe, everything is belief, whatever literature. And if we say Vikramaditya and Salibhagna are mythical persons, we can say Alexander, Julius Caesar, everybody is mythical person. If we say that Purana written in 3rd century Common Era, we can say all the writings of the Greek literatures are written in 18th century. So they will do that thing. So we should stop calling like that. We will go to the next session. So in this session, I am going to narrate about the remaining inscriptional evidence, and also I am going to say the number of inscriptions that are dated before 500 Common Era, that is 1500 years, and analysis, inference, and conclusion. With that, I will complete this session. This is an important inscription from Assam, Batara, from Silhat district, now in Bangladesh. It is issued by, it is a Sanskrit language text. Okay, Sanskrit was there in Assam, that we should understand. It is from Gaur dynasty. King is Govinda Kesava Deva. 990 to 1040 is his ruling period. We can derive from many references, and in that what it mentions, it is 4151 years from the first king of Pandava dynasty. Pandava Kula Adi Pala Abda. Abda means here, Adi Pala, Adi means first, Pala means king, Pandava Kula. So Yudhishthira. From Yudhishthira to King Govinda Kesava Deva, there will be an elapse of 4151 years. Ruling period of 990, Govinda Kesava Deva is 990 to 1040, 50 years. So, Yudhishthira period varies. If you deduct either 990 or 1040, it will give Yudhishthira period from 3161 to 3111 BC. So, definitely, if you place Mahabharata war at 5500, then because after Govinda Kesava Deva, 273 years after that, the Bengal Sultan took over Silhat. So, if you say that, then the Bengal Sultan Samsuddin's period will be 1000 BC. Definitely not. And if you say Mahabharata period after 2500, then we have to accept that Samsuddin is still ruling Bengal. So, it is not possible. This is an important inscription deriving Mahabharata date also. And this is Idar Museum inscription from Gujarat. I have told eastern end, now western end. Gujarat, it is Idar Taluk, Sabarkand district, Gujarat. It mentions both era, Kali 4300 and Vikram era 1256. So this, we know Vikram era when it began 57 BC. So through that, we can prove that Kali Yuga began in 3101 BC. That much is important, because it mentioned 2 eras. We can cross-verify the Kali Yuga era. And this is Cholapuram inscription from Kerala, down south. I have completed east, west, now down south. It is Trivandrum Peninsular State, now Kerala State. It mentions also 2 eras, that is Kali Yuga 4317 and Kollam 392 in Tamil Grantha letters. Kollam era, we know that it starts from 825 Common Era. So it also proves through that we cross-verified Kali Yuga, and it proves Kali Yuga begin in 3101 BC. And this is from Jammu Kashmir. I got to cover north also. East, west, south, north. So it is from Srinagar district, Jammu and Kashmir. It is in Sanskrit. I have shown in east area Sanskrit, now northern area also Sanskrit. Sarada Lipi. It is Kali 4580. It was issued during the rule of Kashmir king Jan ul Abidin. We know his ruling period. And also it mentions another era, Laukik era. I have shown Kollam era, I have shown Yudhishthira era, I have shown Vikram era, now Laukik era. So through that also we can prove Kali Yuga beginning 3101 BC. So I have shown 4 era and also 4 places, 4 corner places of our nation to prove Kali Yuga at 3101 BC. This is the photocopy of that inscription. I thank Dr. B.K. Golddiombi. He mentioned in this book, Corpus of Sarada Inscriptions of Kashmir, it is internet downloadable. You can copy that inscription. This is the inscription photocopy. I thank him wholeheartedly. And this is an important temple in Tamil Nadu, that is Sri Rangam. The foremost Vishnu temple in the world, that is Sri Rangam. It is mentions Kali Yuga 4835. What is the important of that temple is there are 644 inscriptions in the one temple itself. 644. And one full volume, 24th volume of South India inscription is entirely devoted to record all these inscriptions. That much inscription data are available with Sri Rangam. It is very nearer to Tiruchirappalli, my place. Some 350 kilometers down west, south of Chennai. And this is Mayiladurai copper plate inscription. Mayiladurai is in Nagapattanam district, eastern part of Tamil Nadu. It mentions, you can see Tamil Kali Yuga Abdam and Salivagana Sagabdam. These are all the numbers. Through Salivagana era, it proves Kali Yuga 3101 BC. This is the copper plate. How it copper plate looks like that, you can see. These are all the letters of Tamil in some 900 years before. And this is from Andhra Pradesh, Uruma Milla inscription. I thank ASI for copying this photocopy and this thing. It also mentions Kali era and also Saka era. Through that, it proves 3101 BCE as the beginning of Kali Yuga. This is the inscription photocopy. And this is from Tamil Nadu, Azhagumalai inscription. In that, it is not number, it is given in letters. 4742, 4742 is the year mentioned here, Kali Yuga, this inscription. How the inscription looks like that I want to show. And this is from Mysore district, Karnataka. I want to show various places, that's why. And it is inscription number is Epigraphia Karnataka. In 3rd volume, it is mentioned. Inscription number is 37. These are all the numbers where at what pages this is described. It mentions that question, the sum total of 4,32,000 Kaliya. And after that, this Saka era what gone 1435. When from 3179 years after that Saka era, Kali 3179, after that 1435. If we add 4614, that is from Kali Yuga. What is the important thing is they brought Shivalinga from Visveswara Linga from Kasi to Kaveri. So they are linking Ganga and Kaveri. And Sri Rangapura, that it is known as Southern Varanasi, Dachina Varanasi. So they erected a temple. Why the southern people more attached to Kasi or Ganga or Himalaya? For example, Sharan Senguttuvan is a Chera king from Tamil Nadu. To form an idol, stone idol of Kannaki Mata, he brought a stone from Himalaya only. There are a lot of stones here, everything. But he respected Himalaya, so he went there and take a stone from that. Our Rajendra Chola, the Chola king, there are plenty of water in Kaveri, but he went to Ganga to bring Ganga water and to mix with Kaveri, and he created a lake that is known as Sola Ganga. Sola is his dynasty name, and Ganga, he wanted here. Ganga Konta Solapura, his capital. So that much our southern people are much attached to Kasi or Ganga, Himalaya. That I want to show. This is an Ganapati inscription in Coimbatore, some 400 kilometers west of Chennai. It mentions two era, Kali Yuga 4865, Saka era 1686. It is in Tamil Nadu state, but the inscription is in Kannada language. You see, this is Kannada language. 1-6, this is Kannada. This is 1, this is 6, this is 8, this is 6. Salivagana Saga 1686. Ka, this is Ka. This is Ka, Kannada. This is Li, Kali. Kali Yuga 4865. 5 is behind the bar. So even in Tamil Nadu, there are Kannada inscriptions, Telugu inscriptions are there. In the same way, in Andhra, there are Tamil inscriptions. In Karnataka, there are Tamil inscriptions. In Kerala, and Tamil inscriptions. So even in Tamil Nadu, there are Sanskrit inscriptions. In Assam, Jammu Kashmir, Gujarat, and even Tamil Nadu, everywhere Sanskrit inscriptions are there. So language is not dividing our nation. It is actually integrating. That we should understand. And this is Nungambakam inscription. There is an important inscription. It is a Tamil and Telugu, both languages are there in Chennai. It is in Chennai, Nungambakam. It mentions Kali Yuga year 4893. There were at the time East India Company, 1792 Common Era. Chennai was under the control of East India Company, and they want to erect a modern astronomical observatory outside England. First observatory outside England is erected at Chennai in the year 1792, and Michael Topping was the officer, astronomical officer, who constructed that thing. So it was mentioned. And the year is the school, astronomical school was established in 1792, and from that you can derive that Kali Yuga began in 3101 BCE. If you subtract this number from this number, it will give. There is another Telugu inscription also. I have gone personally and taken photography. This pillar was like this. This is English thing. Opposite side Tamil and opposite side Telugu were there. So this is Kali Yuga 4893. This is number 4. This is 3000. 30. This is 8. This is 20. This is 9. This is 10. This is 3. Varusathil and that year English Kumbuniyar, that is East India Company, Agasathil Nagaragendra Uruvangalai Kangaradukku Anugulamaga, that is to view the celestial, moving celestial objects in the Kodathai. This hall, Michael Topinam, how he is given title Rajasri. Rajasri Michael Topinam Munnelayil Kattivittarkal, that he constructed that. That is the thing. So it mentioned clearly the Kali Yuga era. This is Telugu version. See, this is Ka of Telugu. This is Li. This is 4, 8. This is 9. This is 3. 4, 8, 9. The same thing is repeated here. So there are evidence even during British period that Kali Yuga is counted. This is the thing, but the whole hall, outside hall has gone. The actually observatory was kept above there. There are some ladders there. So, but everything gone, we are not maintaining properly. It is an important monument. How we maintain like that. And this is Kuram inscription in Kanjipuram in Tamil Nadu. I have told in Tamil Nadu there are Telugu inscriptions. To prove that, I have shown. It is Kali Yuga and Saka era I mentioned. See, this is the inscription. I have gone there, that temple, Vishnu temple. In that, you see Telugu number 1717. Saka era 1717. 1717. This is Ka of Telugu. This is Li. This is 4, 8. This is 9. This is 6. 4896. 4896. Telugu inscriptions are also there in Tamil Nadu. And this is an important inscription. There is an interesting history attached to it. It is from Bhavani, my native place. There is a Vedanahi Amman. Other name of that Amma is Bhavani Amman, the Kuladevada of Chhatrapati Shivaji. Okay, Vedanahi Amman's shrine at the confluence of two rivers, that is Kaveri and Bhavani. And we are telling, like in Prayaga, Allahabad, Prayagraj, we are calling now. There is Saraswati is Andarvagni. Here another river, Amritavagni, is Andarayagni. So we call it as Dachina Prayaga, because three rivers are confluencing there. It mentions Kali Yuga 4904, Salivagana Saga, and also Common Era 11th January 1804. What is the important thing? It is an ivory swing cot. Ivory swing cot for the goddess Vedanayakaman to sleep. So, what is the important history behind that is, I will read this. In the year 1894, the British collector of Coimbatore district, he is known as William Garrow. After his official visit, he stayed in his traveler's bungalow. During night, he was sleeping in the hall. There was a heavy rain. At the time, at the midnight, he called. Somebody is calling him. Hey, William Garrow, come out of the house quickly. He came to the entrance and saw some girl is standing some 50 feet away. That girl is shouting, 10 to 12 years, with ornaments, golden ornaments, everything, with the silk dress and Tejas face. So that girl is shouting, hey, come out, man, quickly. So he ran to the girl and, why you are calling? Just turn behind and see your bungalow. When he turned behind, the whole bungalow is collapsing. Just a narrow escape. If he would have stayed more than just within 1 minute, he would have perished in there. So he turned behind to thank that girl with gratitude, but the girl vanished. And see, that bungalow is very near to the temple. And he saw that some girl is running inside the temple. So he called immediately the local people and the priest, and all descriptions about the girl he gave to them, and they told it is our Bhavani Amma. Vedanayaka Amma only saved you. So he want out of gratitude, he want to worship Vedanayaka Amma, Bhavani Amma. They made, this is the Vedanayaka Amma shrine, and they made on the eastern compound wall 3 holes, so that through that he can worship Vedanayaka Amma. Through that he worshipped. Still these 3 holes are there. My friend has taken the photocopy, and he donated that ivory swing cot to Bhavani Amma as a gratitude because she only saved her. And in that he signed William Garrow, 11th January 1804. In that Kali Yuga and Salivagana Saga are mentioned. So, what a beautiful thing. God was there in our nation, that it is proves Bhavani Amma is still there. This is the place. So through that we are calculating Kali Yuga. And what the cross verification I have meant that is, I have referred the record of services of Honorable East India Company servants in Madras Presidency from 1741 to 1858. And in that I verified William Garrow's period. It is exactly coincides. So I have cross verified that also. So this is another Sankaranayanar Koil, where Ishvara and Vishnu will be in the same idol, Sankaranarayana. In that 3 eras are mentioned: Kali Yuga, Saka era, and Kollam era. Kollam era is followed mainly in Kerala and southern part of Tamil Nadu. It started from 825 Common Era, at which year the Kollam became independent. Through that we are verifying, and we proved that Kali Yuga began in 3101 BC. And last session, I have mentioned that there are an inscription from Darabram that mentioned all the Kalpa, Manvandara, and Mahayuga calculation. That is the inscription. My friend has gone there and taken photocopy of this inscription. Sri Varaha Kalpe, Vaivaswada Manvandre, 27 Mahayuga get gone. All these are mentioned in this inscription. In this 28th Mahayuga, Krita, Treta, Dwapara Yuga were gone. In the present Kali Yuga, 4488 and Saga 1390th year are gone, when Harihara Raya of Vijayanagara Empire is ruling. He is Harihara II, his regnal period is correct. So it is proved that. So all these Kalpa and Manvandara calculations are not imaginary or believed. There are inscriptional evidence also there for them. And this is a Vishnu temple and Ishvara temple, both in a same place in Koduvai. And my friend only taken this photocopy. You see here Kali Yuga is mentioned. You can see this Kali Yuga large letters. Here small letter Kali Yuga. The year is mentioned here. And this is an important inscription from Kerala. It is a Vishnu temple during the period of Chera King Rajashekara Varma. How it mentioned the date of that inscription? It is in chronogram. That is Kadapayadi Sankhya. Netaram Yamavapya. That is the word it used. What do you mean by Netaram Yamavapya? Na means 0, Ta means 6, Ra means 2, Ya means 1, and Ma means 5, Va means 4, and Ya means 1. So it is 0, 6, 2, 1, 5, 4. Netaram Yamavapya in Kadapayadi Sankhya denotes this number, and you have to reverse it. So it gives 14,51,260 days. On that day, the Vishnu idol was installed in the temple. It is in Pallava Grantha, Tamil letters, Tamil in Sanskrit language. In Kerala, Sanskrit language is followed and Tamil letters are used. Here it is in Kurumattur near Arikode, Kerala state. This is the inscription photocopy. Okay. So we have adequate time calculations, excellent calendar calculations in our nation. We can even mention how many days elapsed since the beginning day of Kali Yuga. And this is from Orisha. I have not shown any inscription from Orissa. So this my friend, he is staying in Orissa. He is taken photocopy of this. He went to that temple. It is in Sonapur, Odisha. It is a pedestal of idol Mata Lakshmi and Narasimha. In that there is a inscription, and this is another Jagamogana shrine is there. In front of that, this inscription is there. It is in Odisha letters, and it mentions in Kadapayadi Bhuta Sankhya. This is the number, Kali Yuga number, it is mentioned. So you can verify how the letters are there, Odisha letters. And this is Hanuman Temple, Jaisalmer, Rajasthan. Another state I got to show no. For that I have taken this. It is published in Journal of Royal Asiatic Society, Great Britain and Ireland. They themselves published in the year 1911 from London. In the page 694, what it mentions, when total of 4,890 years had gone since the glorious Yudhishthira, and in the year 1854 of Vikramaditya, and 1719 from the era of Salivagana, this temple was constructed. So from this Yudhishthira to Vikrama, there is 3,044 years. Yudhishthira to Salivagana, 3,179 years. And Vikrama to Salivagana, 135 years. Exactly as mentioned by Kalidasa Jyotir Vidhaparanam in the Raja Adhyaya, 10th Adhyaya. 101, 102 sloka. So exactly coincidence. Literature evidence is there, inscriptional evidence there, and the astronomical texts are also mentioned in this. There are 3 evidences. So we cannot say that from Yudhishthira to Salivagana, any other number. It is only 3179 years. So from that, Salivagana era, 78 Common Era. So we can fix Mahabharata period around 3140 only. Not before that, not after that. That is an important inscription. This is actually translated and printed by S.R. Bandarkar in his book, a report of the second 2 Sanskrit manuscripts made in Rajputana and Central India. And in the page 67 and in appendix 2, he has exactly given. You see all the numbers he has given. So we can verify. This is also downloadable book. We can download and verify. This is copied by my friend, photocopied. It is nearer to my Pudukkottai district in Tamil Nadu. You see Subhasri Salivagana Sagabdam, 1803, and Kali Yuga Varsham, 4982. This is the thing. See how Tamil letters are there during that period. It proves through Salivagana Saga, Kali Yuga began in 3101. We see how the inscription will look like that. You have to apply some white powder or this vibhuti on that, so that the letters will be visible clear. This is another Tirukannamage, the famous Vishnu temple near Tanjavur. It is a copper plate kept in that temple. Here Salivagana Saga and Kali Yuga. How the diagram of all our Devata, Vishnu and Lakshmi and Bhuma Devi are drawn here. You can see. So we have to see some copper plate, then only we will believe. And this is Parthipunar inscription in Ramanathapuram district in Tamil Nadu. See, you can see Kali Yuga, clearly visible in Tamil letter. Kali Yuga 4978. It is 70. So this is Erode inscription, my district headquarters. So I want to show. It is in Kasturi Ranganatha temple, that is Vishnu temple. It is mentioned Ramanujaya Namaha, Vishnu Sangha Chakra and Tirunama, and it mentions Kali Yuga here. And this is Vankareswara temple from Merkara. It is from Karnataka. What is the important that inscription? There are two inscriptions like this, but I want of time I will show only one inscription. It mentions the Salivagana Saga year, Varsha 1739, and Kali Dina 17,96,392, on which day the construction of the Omkareswara temple at Merkara was started. Beginning day of the construction of the temple is 17,96,392, and the construction is completed on Kali Dina 17,97,421. That is after 2 years, 9 months and 25 days. If you calculate 25 days and also 9 months day, 30.43 if you add, and remaining you subtract this number from this, the number of days for this value will come. If you add 9 into 30.43, add 25, and the number from this number you divide, you subtract this, you get the number for 2 years, that is 730 and odd. So if you divide 2, it is give exactly 365.25. So how much exact calculations are there, time calculations and the calendar system? Somebody is telling Surya Siddhanta and other all inscriptions are calculating based on Akargana back calculation. This is a circular argument. Last time one gentleman told. But he told that Surya Siddhanta mentioned leap year. I asked which sloka, which adhyaya. After 2 weeks he didn't say it because he could not send. I know that I have read Surya Siddhanta fully. There is no mention of leap year. So our time calculations is excellent, and we know absolutely that knowledge. Our ancestors are very highly knowledgeable, and here wisdom is at the Himalayan level, so they didn't do any mistake. It is not back calculation. We should not make us inferior ourselves. That is the thing. So this is how it proves Kali Yuga here is that 2 days are mentioned, Kali Dina, and Salivagana Saga Varsha is mentioned, and Kali Yuga at 4,922 after 2 years, the donations are made to that temple. That also mentioned in the same inscription. So 4 dates are there, and we know the regnal period of this king Linga Rajendra Vadayar. So through 5 verifications, cross verified through 5 data, we have proved that Kali Yuga began in 3101 BC. So through 5 data, it exactly proves. And this is inscription at Ayodhyapuri in Uttar Pradesh, the very important state. It is Kali date and Salivagana date and Common Era date is given. The most important thing is it is Tamil inscription. Tamil Nadu is down south, Uttar Pradesh is north, but how we are interconnected, that you should understand. The Nattukottai Chetti Vaishya Nagarata, that is from Karaikudi, which I am attached to that famous place as a syndicate member of that Alagappa University. So they constructed Satra at Anadana Chatra at Ayodhya, so that the people from Tamil Nadu, if they want to worship Bhagavan Sri Rama, they can stay there and take food and they can stay. For that they constructed one Chatra, and on which day they constructed, and not only they constructed, they erected, consecrated an idol of Sri Rama, Sita Mata in that also. That they mentioned. This is the photocopy of that inscription. This is Kali date, all Tamil letters 4,984, and Salivagana 1,805. You see, 1,805. English date is 1883 September. So Ayodhya in Tamil inscription. So our nation is one. That we should understand. And now coming to the second part, inscriptions that are dated in Kali Yuga 2000, that is before 300 Common Era. Because somebody asked me, only after Gupta period, that is that too after Aryabhatta's writing about Kali Yuga. See, Aryabhatta didn't mention not even a single word about Kali Yuga in Aryabhatta. It's all imaginations. So after that only our people know Kali Yuga and other Yuga. So before that there is no inscription. We prove Like that, they asked me. So I searched for that. After 1 year, I got 5 inscriptions. That is inscription at Upattur Agragaram, Andhra Pradesh. The king is Trinetra Maharaja. It is dated 2000 years of Kali Yuga. That is 1100 on BCE. So this Kali Yuga calculation we didn't got from Greek. At the 1301 BCE Greek, there is no history for Greek. It proved. So Upaturu or Lavanapuri is the ancient regional Chola capital. It is mentioned in Lieutenant Colonel Colin Mackenzie collection, compiled by H.S. Wilson in the volume 2, catalog volume 2 at pages this. So I thank Sarayu Foundation Charitable Trust because they are going to give a highly valuable support to trace out all these Mackenzie collections, which are very important to derive the correct history of southern Bharat. So they are giving a great help and support. So I wholeheartedly thank them. And this is the catalog, Mackenzie collection, descriptive catalog. In this, at this page, you can see that translation of the inscription of Upattur Agragaram granted to the different Brahmins by the renowned King Trinetra Maharaja, dated 2000 years of the Kali Yuga. So this is the thing I downloaded. From where I got the source? I got the source from the Mysore inscriptions written by Lewis Rice at the instruction of government of Mysore, that princely state. In that he mentioned a Trinetra Pallava is said to have introduced Brahmins into the region, and the inscription dated in 2000 Kali at Upattur. He gave the reference here, that Mackenzie collection. Through that I got there. And I have traced, 1 year I tried to trace that inscription. Finally, through my friend who is staying at Perchur, he went there personally to the temple and copied that inscription, photocopied that inscription. This is the inscription. It mentioned Divi Sagasra Kalau Prapti. Divi means 2, Sagasra is 2000. Kalau means Kali Yuga. Kali Yuga has gone, Prapti. It is in the 107th line of the inscription. And it in the inscription mentioned King Trinetra Pallava brought 1000 Brahmana from Varanasi and created an Agragaram, donated to them. And this Brahmana brought Shivalinga from Narmada river, and he constructed a Shiva temple for that Shivalinga also. Yes, our people respect Narmada also. This is the Shiva temple, and this is the inscription. I thank my friend for sending me all the photos. And another proof for this Mackenzie collection, through that collection, this inscription proof is there. See, Mackenzie's Kaifiyat, that is village records. He mentioned 3 records. Village name Upaturu, record date is 1986. That is 14 years before 2000 Kali. It mentions that the same Trinetra Pallava. Trinetra means Netra is eye. So 3 eyes. King Mukantina, Mu means 3, Kantina eye. So Mukanti in Telugu. So the Brahmins, he brought Brahmins from Kasi, and they brought one Shivalinga from river Narmada. Same thing what inscription mentions, the same thing is there. And in the village, another village, Sankura Tiripadu in Kali 2000. All these records are there in the village administrative offices, through which Mackenzie collected and copied. And another is Vengipuram in Kali 1986. All these things mentioned this Mukanti Maharaja and Brahmins coming from Kasi. All these things it is mentioned. See, I thank Telugu University. They sent this one of these Upaturu, that village record, all the 10 pages about that Upaturu record. You see, this is the Telugu letter Kali Yugam 1986. It mentions Trinetra Pallava, Mukundi Maharaja. This is the village record they sent me. So I got to collect other records. A lot of records are there in that. So with the help of Sarayu Trust, I will definitely do it. And this inscription mentioned other inscriptions that mentioned date before 300 Common Era. That is again in Mackenzie collection, a descriptive catalog by H.S. Wilson, volume 2. There is an inscription at Kali Yuga Pattanam. This may be in Kanjipuram district, Madakulam something. I have to find out the place. It mentions Kali Yuga year 3265. That is 164 Common Era, before 300 Common Era. And based on this Mackenzie collection, T. Chandrasekharan and Subramaniam wrote one book, Tenindia Koil Sasanangal, South India Temple Inscriptions. In that, they mentioned one inscription that is dated 285 Common Era. Madavilagam, that is, date is Kali Yuga 3386. It is also before 300 Common Era, 285 Common Era. These two prove Kali Yuga began in 3101 BC. And in the same book, there is another inscription at Koil Palayam, Samakulam, that is dated in Kali 3015, date 86 BC. I went there, that temple, but unfortunately, Kala temple, I couldn't find out the inscription. Maybe buried under the ground. We have to search for that. And another thing is the most important inscription, copper plate inscription, what Subramania editor mentioned is in his volume 1. What it mentions, a copper plate inscription issued by King Karigala Chola Maharaja, the very ancient Chola king who constructed the Grand Anikat. Grand Anikat dam was mentioned, constructed by Karigal Pirvalata some 3000 years before itself. Still, the dam is there. It is just 15 kilometers from Tiruchirappalli. 3500 years, the dam is still there. That much technical knowledge, construction of knowledge was there in ancient India itself. So this date is 1332 BCE, even before that Uppatur inscription. We have to trace that copper plate. And another thing is, these are all inscriptions. And is there any other evidence for Kali Yuga date? So this is the book. You can see this book. It is a traveling account of Francis Buchanan, a medical doctor of East India Company, on the instruction of Governor General of India, Wellesley. He traveled from Chennai to Mysore and Gurk area, and he traveled during the year 1800 and 1801, and he wrote all the narrations in 3 volumes, and I am going to detail only volume 3, published in 1807. Various records that were recorded in Kali Yuga year. So he went there first to Beiduru. There is one manuscript, that Raya Patati, that is the chronology of kings, Vaidya Rayana Chika, because it ended with Vidyaranya Swamigal, who became this Vijayanagara Empire. With that, it's complete. So it is known as Vidyaranya Chika. This mentioned that the Yudhishthira family commenced on Friday, 1st of Kali Yuga. So this is an important thing. And the another Kali Yuga mentioned 1115 years. That is BC 1984 and BC 1492 and BC 1472. All these years are mentioned. Kali Yuga 1440 BC and 1689 Kali Yuga. So it mentions up to 1800, there are 3786 years of Kali Yuga were elapsed. Out of this, again, it verifies with corroborates Jyotirvidaparanam and another inscription, Rajasthan Hanuman Temple inscription. It mentions 3040 years of Yudhishthira era, 135 years of Vikram era, 607 years of Salivagana. So you add 3786 from Kali Yuga at the period AD 684 to 685. So exactly coincides. All the records. That record is from Kalidasa's Jyotirvidaparanam from Ujjain. That temple is at Rajasthan. This record is in Mysore, down south. All the 3 records exactly mention the same thing. How can it possible? So it is the correct value. So they know correct value. So it is absolutely correct. That is why even if you go from north, central India and southern India, every value is correct. And it completes from this thing, Kali Yuga dates. I don't want to detail. And it completes, the record completes with the Harihara Bukka ruling. Maha Vidyaranya Maha Swamigal, he started this Vijayanagara Empire through Harihara Bukka. With that, it ends. Okay. That when it starts, that is Kali Yuga 4437, that is 1335. That with Vijayanagara Empire began. And another record is Madhavacharya, he born in Kali Yuga 4300. That it mentions. And he gave at the page 95 another record, that is Grama Pathati. So that Grama Pathati mentioned the Tuluva people, when they came into existence, means that is this much year. 195 crores, 58,000, 80,000, 58 lakhs, 80,000 years after creation. See, when they calculated from the creation of the universe. After that year, Tuluva Vamsa began. And the Pandava Vamsa ended in 1036 Kali. That also mentioned. So Vishnu Purana mentioned 24 kings after from Parikshit Pandava Vamsa end. So 24 kings, 1036. It is almost 50 years or 40 years. So it is acceptable. So this is mentioned Kali Yuga 2351. Various Kali dates. How many Kali dates are there in that Grama Pathati? You can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Here again 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 16, 15 days are there in Kali Yuga. And this is another date, another pages. Page 168, Kali Yuga 120. How much ancient? 3875, 3911, 600. Page 411, Kali Yuga 600 years is mentioned. And Kali Yuga mentioned 4,32,000 years. So all these there are records are there. Now, because it is in 1800, 220 years are gone, those manuscripts would have gone. But we got the detailed record in the Buchanan's volume. So that is an important historical event. Like that, many historical texts are there. We have to collect so that we can understand exact history of our nation. And this is William Taylor. He through this Mackenzie collection, he wrote 3 volumes. In the 3rd volume, he mentioned 2 dates. Kali Yuga 515. How much ancient? It is 4,500 years before. And 4,499. So 4,500 years before, there is a record for Kali Yuga. That we should understand. And this Janamejaya's copper plate, that Yudhishthira era 89th year. In Karnataka is there 2 copper plate, and in Kedarnath is another copper plate in Uttarakhand. Maybe Uttarakhand there. So 3 records are there. But somebody arguing that because in that copper plate, the writing style and the letters are modern. So how can we say that it is issued by Janamejaya some 5,000 years before? So, genuine correct doubt now. It is in modern character, 17th, 18th century character. How can we say that it is 5,000 years old? We have to explain that. See, copper plate, paper manuscripts or palm leaf manuscripts, the time period is 300, 200, 300 years. After that, they have to copy it. The same way, copper plate also has time limit, lifetime. It will wear and tear, it will go away. So again, they have to recopy it. In the same way, stone inscriptions also there. So the building, any temple building, the lifetime is 1,500 years, or at the maximum 2,000 years. Beyond that, only rock can exist. Any rock can exist from time immemorial to present day. But what man-made constructions will not last long more than 1,500. The temple may collapse, the inscription may crack. So at that time, we have to re-inscribe that. If there are any evidence for that, with evidence only we have to talk. So King Rajaraja Sola's inscription at Ptolemy in Tamil Nadu is there, Tenkasi district. What he mentioned, because the temple has collapsed, so the inscription has damaged. So what he mentioned, again we have to reconstruct the temple, and we have to get a new stone, and that the old inscription should be re-inscribed. That what mentioned. Tirumalayil Kalvettu Vattamadalal Tamilaga Padiyeduthu Kalvettinapadi. That means the old inscription is in Vatteluthu, the ancient writing style. So, but that writing style could not be understood by common people of that person day. So, it should be re-inscribed. at the present day writing style, present day language, present day letters. So, Vattamadala, it is in old in inscription style. So, Tamilaga Padiyeduthu, that we have to copy it and culvit. Again, we have to inscribe. There are evidence, 2 inscriptions are there. It is copied in Archaeological Survey of India. And also, not only even foreigner Robert Sewell, he accepted that for a copper plate. In his Sewell collection, he mentioned one thing, one inscription that is from Klothunga Chola. That is some 900 years before. At the time, there were no ruler of Sultan ruler in Tamil Nadu. But there is a Parasika symbol on that copper plate. What explanation he gave? Because it is an old copper plate inscription, it has gone wear and tear. And because this Sultan accepted the donation, so he signaled, he signed with his emblem on that. He accepted that grant. So these copies were taken during that Sultan period. So because he endorsed it, he put a seal on it. So Robert Sewell itself accepted that. So there are recopying of the copper plate and also there are re-inscribing of the stone inscriptions are there. So Janamejaya copper plate also, any copper plate cannot last for 5,000 years. It will go away, any metal. So every 500 years or 600 years, we have to copy that copper plate. So it definitely should be modern. So based on writing style or letters, we should not decide the date of that inscription. What is written on that inscription, what date is given, that we have to accept. That is an important point. Most of the scholars, historical scholars, are missing this. So I want to stress that that's why I am giving this. And the most important thing is I have shown that all the inscriptions within our motherland Bharat, is there is any inscription outside our motherland? It's because we need foreign evidence. It is all due to Macaulay education. If any foreigner accept only, we will say that we are great. We ourselves don't accept that we are great. So we need foreign evidence for that. So I searched for that. I have found one inscription from Thailand. So it is issued by Chandrabanu, Sri Dharmaraja, king of Tamarabarani of Thailand, southern Thailand, he ruled. It is inscribed in Sanskrit language. You understand? It is inscribed in Sanskrit language. What it means? Kali Yuga Barshani Dva Trimsadhiha. That is Dva Trimsad means 30. Dva Trimsad is 32. Trini Sadadhiga. Adhiga means excess. So Trini Sadadhiga. Last time I mentioned equal inscription. If you add Adhiga, Uttra or 7th Vibhakti, it becomes addition. If you don't add, it becomes multiplication. So the Dva Trimsat Adhiga. Trini Sadadhiga. Sada means 100. Trini means 300. Satvara 4 Sahasrani. 4,332 year. Barsani means Varsha. Va become usually Ba. We call in Tamil Nadu Vangala, but everybody calls Bengal. So that is the inscription. It is from Thailand. Our motherland is here. It is far away from our motherland. Here the inscription is there. If there is any evidence for that, how we can prove that the period of Chandrabanu? Because in Ceylon records, Sri Lankan records, which Ceylon Antiquarian Literary Register, Volume 1, he was contemporary to Parakrama Bahu II of Ceylon king, Sri Lankan king, Chandrabanu. So we know the period of this Parakrama Bahu because Chandrabanu raided Sri Lanka 2 times during his period. And he came to power in the year 1234 AD. Based on that, we can calculate. And also Buddhist records are there. Chola Vamsa and Mahavamsa are there. And the great historian from Tamil Nadu, K. Nilakanta Sastri, wrote a book on that, History of Sri Vijaya. He explained everything. And through that, it proved that Kali Yuga began in 3100 BCE. These are all the 6 evidences. Actually, I found out this inscription from Epigraphia Jailenica, the Sri Lankan Archaeological Department book, survey book, in the volume 4. It referred that inscription, and I have found out the reference from that, and I searched this book, Li Royame T. Sri Vijaya, in this book, written by George Sodius, all in French. So I got translated through Google Translate and found out all these things. So these 2 are evidence. And already I explained Nilakanta Shastri's evidence. And it is mentioned by this person, J.J. Boyles, and also Rohanadira from Jayavardhanapura University, Sri Lanka, and also Nick Abdul Rahman, who is a professor in Malaysia in University Kebansan. All these three scholars written thing on this inscription. So there is a definite inscriptional evidence from foreign, and I have downloaded this whole book. I downloaded that inscription photocopy. Because of this royalty issue, I didn't give that photocopy. So now coming to the final part, analysis. The analysis is carried out on the following headings. That is there is any other era mentioned along with Kali Yuga? And is there any names of dynasties and kings or other persons mentioned in that inscriptions? And language of the inscription and location of the inscription and the period of that inscription. Under these 5 headings, I have discussed, analyzed this thing. First thing is, out of 436 inscriptions, 306 inscriptions are dated along with other era. What is that important? Because we know when Salivagana Saga began, Vikrama Saga began, and Common Era when it began, Koldam, Kochi era, everything we know. So through that we can cross-verify whether the Kali date, year date is given or correct. So it is not back calculation or Akargana calculation. 2 era were mentioned. Strong proof. So that our ancestors know Kali Yuga when began. So that is the importance of finding out, mentioning of other era along with the Kali Yuga era. So 306 inscriptions, 70% mention any other 1 or 2 era, sometimes 2 era I have shown. So that cross verification is possible, and it proves that Kali Yuga began in 3101 BCE. And the dynasties and kings, these are all the kings and dynasties mentioned in all these 400. I have analyzed only 436 inscriptions only, though I have found out 607. Because I have found out all these rest of the inscriptions after writing that book. So in that book, I analyzed up to 436 only. So all these kings of our nation issued Kali Yuga dated inscription. They mentioned their period in Kali Yuga year. So we see almost all dynasties, including British, Dutch, Mughal kings, Bijapur Sultan, and Sultan of Kashmir, all these people, everybody issued inscriptions that were dated Kali Yuga year. So almost all dynasties. So it is widely prevalent and used by all kings of our day. And out of this 436 inscriptions, 227 inscriptions mentioned respective ruler, king, queen, or acharya of Math. So cross-verifiable. So that is the important of finding out the dynasty or king's name or other important VIP's name. So we can cross-verify whether it fit with the regnal period of that particular king, period of that acharya of Mata. But I have shown in Bhavani inscription, William Garrow, I have verified what is his period of service in East India Company. So I have cross-verified and found out. Like that, we can cross-verify and found out whether Kali Yuga date mentioned is correct. So out of this, remaining 209 inscription, 140 were mentioned other era also. So out of this 436, 367 inscriptions, that is 84%, can be cross-verified either through other era mentioned or the king or VIPs mentioned in that inscription. So this can be cross-verified and cross-checked. So this proves that Kali Yuga beginning at 3101 BC is absolute, perfect and correct and concrete. So language of the inscriptions. In what are all the languages it mentioned. So you see all the languages of our nation, almost all the languages of our nation. So this was wide practice by people throughout our nation, that Kali Yuga date. So that is an important thing. And the place of inscription, I have shown many states. From Tamil Nadu down south to Jammu Kashmir north, from Gujarat west to Assam in the east, and many places in between. So even in foreign evidence. So this shows the Kali Yuga date is prevalent and a common practice in all parts of our nation. That we came to understand. So some of the inscriptions only I have given the location. You can see where are all these inscriptions. And I have not given all the places because space will not be sufficient to wrote all 436. Whatever possible, I wrote it. So you can find from north, south, east, west, west and east and central part, everywhere the inscriptions are dated in Kali Yuga. What it proves. In the first lecture in the beginning, I told that scholars think that there is no uniform single era followed throughout a nation. Each region followed their own era. But this shows there is an extensive prevalence of the practice of using Kali Yuga throughout the length and breadth of our nation, even in adjacent countries also. This proves that there is a uniform single era that was followed. Even now we are following throughout our nation. This is an additional corroborative strong point to prove that our motherland Bharat is one and single nation from Kashmir to Kanyakumari, Gujarat to Assam. That we should understand. And the period of the inscription, these are all the various periods, and up to 436 I got mentioned. After that, now I have found out 5. If we work, we can find out more. So from this we can show that from 1101 BC to 19th century, that is more than 3000 years of continuous and uninterrupted usage of Kali Yuga dating system in our nation. More than 3000 years. So it shows that it is deep rooted in the minds of our people. Even common and as people are doing, so it is a common, very essential routine in our nation. Not only kings or queens or rulers or even the heads of month or even the common people used Kali Yuga. So I have shown that some inscriptions from Tirupur Taluk, the common people used. So it is used in all parts of our nation, in all languages of our nation, in all periods of time, more than 3000 years, by rulers as well as common people. So that is the importance we have to understand from this analysis of this inscription. So coming to the conclusion, again I want to stress why Kali Yuga dating is important. Because if you know Kali Yuga when it began, we can understand the exact period of these following historical personalities. Sri Krishna, Vedavyasa, Yudhishthira, Gautama Buddha, and Adi Shankara, Chanakya, Chandragupta, Ashoka, Gupta period, Vikramaditya, Salivagana, Kalidasa, Varakimigra, and Aryabhatta, and many personalities. I am just to show, I only narrated few personalities, great personalities. So we can derive the exact date of this following historical personalities, not only that important historical events after Kali Yuga beginning and before Kali Yuga beginning, Mahabharata date also. So that much is the importance of Kali Yuga date, fixing the date of Kali Yuga through inscription. That's why I took that project, and with it shows that it is Kali Yuga date is prevalent and a common practice in all parts of our nation, in all languages, wide prevalence by all people, by rulers as well, all people, and throughout our nation, more than 3000 years before present. So thus, these 607 inscriptions that are dated in Kali Yuga years prove assertively, conclusively, precisely, and concretely that Kali Yuga began in 3101 BCE. That is the strongest conclusion, we can say. Kali Yuga, date 3101 BCE. So, thus, based on this conclusion, that is Kali Yuga began in 3101 BCE, we can derive and fix the historical events of our nation from Mahabharata to later period up to Vikramaditya, Salivagana, and various kings and personalities. That much is the importance of the Kali Yuga inscriptions. Thus, the Kali Yuga epoch at 3101 BCE is the correct seat anchor. It should be the seat anchor of our historical chronology of our nation. Thus, many scholars, after reading my book, archaeologists, historians, and epigraphs and great personalities, what they mention, what is their opinion on my book, that I want to convey, because it is a great thing for me. Their blessings are a great thing for me. So I want to mention their word. The Kali Yuga Inscriptional Evidence, that book, which details 436 inscriptions that were dated in Kali Yuga, is an authentic source book to rewrite our nation's history and chronology. That is their opinion. It is actually a blessing for me. And my book, this is my book. It is available from Blue Rose Publishers, New Delhi, and through Amazon.in and Flipkart, or by Google Kali Yuga Inscriptional Evidence. If we type or my name, it will come. So anybody want to read, they can purchase. I have already introduced, so no need to repeat. These are all my contact numbers and my website, my mail ID. Now, I want to express my heartfelt nandri, dhanyavadaga, and thanks to Sangam management and all the faculties there, and also our Colonel Ramasar, and also my registrar from my Alagappa University, and many of my friends who are attending, and the great personalities and professors and great scholars who have attended this lesson. I want to convey my nandri, dhanyavad, and thanks, heartfelt thanks to one and all. Thank you very much. If there is any question, I am ready to answer, or any suggestion, please.
I received one question from Lata Palji in the chat box. So Lata Palji says that how long is the Kali Yuga supposed to last? That is her question.
Okay. I have already shown the total number of years of Kali Yuga is 4,32,000 years. But don't afraid. The Kali Yuga will be lasting up to that period. But Kali Yuga is a favorable period. In other Krita Yuga, if you do tapas for 10 years, the same day if you do tapas one day in Kali Yuga, that will be equal to that. So if you do good thing in Kali Yuga, it will multiply lakhs and lakhs of time. If you do bad thing, it will also multiply by lakhs and lakhs of time. So it all depends on how we lead life. So Kali Yuga is a favorable period, and if you just say Nama Japa, that will do. It will give mukti in Kali Yuga. So don't afraid. It is all how Kali Yuga. It may be heaven if all the people of our nation follow Dharma and speak Satya. Veda tells only two things: Satyam Vada, Dharmam Chara. If you follow that two guidance from Veda, Kali Yuga will be like living in a heaven. That is the thing. Don't afraid. It lasts for 4,32,000 years minus 5,122 years. That is the number of years going to elapse further, going to remain further in the forthcoming.
Thank you, Dr. Raja. And Lata ji has one more question. She says that I think maybe she missed your earlier lectures, or she joined late, but she asks that when did the Kali Yuga start? When Sri Krishna passed away, or Yudhishthira?
No, Yudhishthira passed away after went to heaven 25 years after the beginning of Kali Yuga. And when Kali Yuga began, he handed over the Rajya to Parikshat, his grandson, Arjuna's grandson, Abhimanyu's son, and he went to Vanavasa. Usually in those days, our ancestors, the kings, they will hand over the thing to their son or grandson, and they will do tapas in Vana. So he lived 25 years after that. One inscription mentioned 36 years, but it is 25 years accepted. Only when Sri Krishna left the world, went to Vaikunta, the Kali Yuga began. Till Vishnu Purana, Srimad Bhagavatam, Matsya Purana, and Brahmanda Purana, Vayu Purana, Kali Yuga Rajavriddhanta, all these 6 texts clearly mention the day on which Sri Krishna left the world, Kali Purusha entered. Till Sri Krishna's Pada, Tirupada is Sri Pada is touching earth, Kali cannot enter. That is the thing mentioned by Vishnu Purana and Srimad Bhagavatam. So that is Sri Krishna leaving the world. That is the beginning of Kali Yuga day.
Namaskaram, sir.
Namaskaram,
So it was really great, wonderful listening to you. I mean, you've given so many, facts and figures. It will take, I think, months and years for persons like us to digest, frankly. But then you have done great work, And
sir.
my prayers are that you should continue to do this for the
Definitely,
sake of
sir.
our
With your
country.
blessings, I will do, sir. Definitely, sir.
That's all
It
I
is
do.
my humble duty to my lands, motherland, sir.
Yes.
Definitely, I will proceed, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you. If there is any question, you please ask me, sir.
Yeah. Sir, I said it will take months to digest what you have said. It's not that
Okay,
easy.
okay,
Okay.
sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Right, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, namaskar to all,
Namaskar.
and special namaskar to Dr. Raja. Yeah, I just joined with Colonel Ramasha. That really we need, probably months or years before we understand what all you have talked about within an hour and a half. It's really great, sir. It's the greatest contribution for the country. It's much needed contribution. We need to educate the younger generation. The richness that we had in the past in terms of history, culture, and science, technology, medicine, and whatever you talk about. And I'm very confident that your research and your contribution will help us understand our past better. And I don't really have any specific question except one thing. But I am always thinking, and I also used to hear how long people lived. For example, in the beginning of the Kali Yuga, now lifespan is about 60, 70, we say. But when we look at or when we read Mahabharata, Ramayana, and the other epics, it is we simply understand that the people in those days were very strong, very healthy, and even the physical size also could have been much bigger, larger than what we had. Can we interpret anything based on your research? The lifespan of the people in those days
Okay.
when compared to the person.
Okay. Srimad Bhagavatam and this Brahma Vaivarta Purana mention that Sri Krishna lived up to 125th year, and 126th year he went to Vaikunta. That means 3101. Before that he took avatara in the year 3227 BC. That is the day. So he lived 125 years. 36 or 40 years before is the Mahabharata. So he fought Mahabharata war. No, fought. He became a Parthasarathi at the age of 85. You say we live only 6 to 70, but he participated. Arjuna and all are same contemporary only. Maybe Arjuna 80 years, Yudhishthira 90 years, like that. At the 90 years, they are very strong. They lived in the beginning of Kali Yuga 125 years. In Krita Yuga, the lifespan is more. Even their height, they are mentioning in Purana, the height now it is very shortened. It going to be less in further when Kali Yuga goes more. So that is the thing. When Kali Yuga began, the height was somewhat higher. Now slowly to 5.5 feet or 6 feet. It will go up to 4 feet also. That is the thing Purana mentions. And their physique is very strong. And they did Brahmachari Virata and schooling for 25 years, 30 years. Even at the age of 40 only they were married. So that is the thing we learn from Purana and other thing. So it is all because tapas and other thing. So if you do, some people are living, even I know some person who is following Yokasana, even at the age of 80, he is very strong now. At the age of 80, 90, some people are very strong even. I have seen people, my grandfather, like that. Now
That's right.
Even you can
my great grandfather, my grandpa used to tell me, was so big a person, and he used to ride a horse, and when he just passes by, everybody will be scared at him, and such a gigantic personality he used to have. But when we compare to my father, my grandfather, great grandfather, I feel that we are all small.
Yes. Even at the age of 60, we become tired. See, Chhatrapati Shivaji's sword was there. It is nearly 25 kilos or something. I don't know exact figure, but it is heavy weight. With that, he fought with others. 25 kilo, just taking it and sweeping so some 300 to 350 years before.
Yeah, thank you very much, sir.
Thank
And
you,
one
thank you.
last thing, if I am permitted. See, nowadays, as you know, I've been working in the area of biosensors, and there, especially, nowadays we are concentrating on scientific validation of traditional medicine. And we got very interesting results for some of the traditional medicines, which could work very well, and scientifically we can support and prove it that it works, including the treatment, Kabasara Pudineer.
Yes.
And as you have been talking about, we only accept if the results are accepted by the white man or the Western world.
Yes.
And some of my results have been accepted recently in the prestigious good journal. And I would request you to pass on any knowledge related to, of course, we are a medical doctor, current medical doctor. Any traditional medicine, if there is a mention in the inscription or anything related to that, that will be really a very good,
but
source
that I
for
have
me.
not come across so far.
Yeah.
Yes,
If
inscriptions
anything,
usually mention the gift, grant, like that.
Okay.
They won't describe the ordinary life. If anything found out, I will definitely pass on to that information to you.
And Professor Sekar, can you also probably deliver a talk on that on our platform?
Yeah, certainly I can do it. I've been talking about in the recent times, and certainly I can talk about few medicines, which is really a wonder how our people knew the importance of some of the herbs, some of the mixture of some of the herbs, which works even now, and very unfortunately we do not appreciate, and we do not follow it. So this we are taking it, and we are trying to prove it to the scientific community. Yes, our it's ancestral traditional medicines are really scientifically correct and can be followed, can be practiced. Yes, ma'am. Thank you very much. I can do it.
No, Professor Sekar, I'll take your number and contact from Dr.
I will give this number.
Okay.
I will get in touch with you, and we can take it forward.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. I'm happy to see Professor Velmurugan, one of the giants in the area of crystallography, and also. Yeah. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
So I love to see my friend Dr. Schaefer. The talks regarding the inscription, I've been taking notes also about 18 pages. I have taken the notes of what I have presented. I'm really highly inspired. How we are a surgeon. He's so influential in Sanskrit, and it's not an easy joke. First of all, it's a divine gift to you. That's all I can say, because anybody cannot enter just like that and learn Sanskrit and interest. But you have been doing it a lot. And a wonderful survey. Maybe tomorrow or tonight I am going to order your book from Amazon. So I'm very, very much thrilled. And coming to Professor Sekhar's question, I am amazed. It's true that previous years in the beginning of Kali Yuga, people have been healthy because there's no adulteration in food. Everything in our adulteration, starting from food to education, everything adulterated. But it is better not to live beyond 60 years. Even 65, I find it difficult. Because those days, people love to, as you said, people love to live 120 years. Krishna live. If you 120 years, if you live now in the present world, you will become mad. No, due to madness, you will die. So I really appreciate that. As the other gentleman said, the senior gentleman, you have to continue this now, because it is a goal, it's a golden thing. Not only for I can say, because most people are ignorant. I humbly accept that my knowledge about these inscriptions and these things was completely ignorant. I gained a lot, and which inspired me to get into your book and read. So I don't know how to salute you, and it's a great service. So we do something in science, you do in surgery, and also you have done this excellent piece of work. Sekhar also worked on what we're going to do in herbal science promotion. That's also useful, because we have been ignoring our own country's products, and giving important. We export and get a medicine at a higher price, for our own herbs. That's also a good thing. So as he said, maybe some inscriptions may be there, but as you said, mostly it is about donations and history of the kings and so on inscription. So for this thing, we got to take the palm leaves written thing like Boger, Agastya only for medicine.
Yes, yes.
Because there is separate issue. So I really appreciate, thankful, sir. I'm very, very thankful to you for giving me an opportunity. I will listen to, if you any more lectures, kindly inform me. I will I'd love to join. Thank you so much. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
One certain clarification. Why are we still following the Gregorian system? And also, if I'm not mistaken, you can correct me, the Saka era as far as the Indian one is concerned. Why don't we consolidate our inherited legacy calendar and have one proper calendar based on our background instead of wasting our time on all this Gregorian, Greek, and the Saka and whatever? So your views on this?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. But actually, we are having an era, Kali Yuga era, that was followed, and still it is followed throughout our nation. For example, if you go for Jataka writing in Tamil Nadu, they will mention, many of the sorter mention, many of the astrologers mention Kali Yuga Suddha Din. That is from the day of beginning of Kali Yuga, and that up to the day on which the child born. Up to that, now how many number of days elapsed in Kali Yuga, they will give us Kali Yuga Suddha Din. Still we are following. In Sankalpa Mantra, still we are mentioning Kali Yuga. Unfortunately, in government offices and other thing only, we are following that Gregorian or other common era. For example, though we are wearing coat and suit, it is only an external. But internal thing is our own thing only. We will not do marriage in Adi Masa, Ashada Masa. One doctor asked me, why you are following still Kali Yuga and other era? You come to common era. Okay, sir, I will come, sir. Will you fix the marriage of your child on July 1st? Oh, I will fix it. Sir, it is Ashada month 16th. Oh, Ashada month, I will not fix. So for important family function, important Kumbha Vishaka, important everything, for we will see even Rahu, Kuliga Kada, Yamakanda, everything we will see. So inner soul is, we are following still that only. Only externally for government purpose we are following this common era. So slowly it will come if we promote Kali Yuga. So we can, my view is, we have to accept Kali Yuga era as a sea tanker. That only I have mentioned. This Saka era, two era are there. One is Saka era is Cyrus II era, that is 550 BCE. Another Saka era is Salibhagana Saka, he belonged to Ujjain, 78 common era. That is a Vikrama Samvat and Salibhagana, that we can do additionally. And local era, Kollam era also we can do additionally. But the main thing, important thing throughout nation, we should adopt Kali Yuga era as the date to be mentioned even in government office, in even official thing, in business communication, everything. We have to slowly change to Kali Yuga. That is my humble opinion. Slowly, only the people and the society and the government should get interested, and slowly it will change. Now, Kali Yuga awareness is more comparing to 25, 50 years back. Now it is more awareness is there.